What's going on there, YouTube? I'm Zach,
I'm Steve.
and this is the Vape Brigade.
Today we're going to be talking about Metal Moose mechanical mods.
Yes, the moose is loose. So bear with us a little bit, YouTube. This is our first video review. We decided that we wanted to start doing this to talk about some of the stuff that we use often, whether or not it be the most popular, newest thing out there. We find some mods or RDAs that we haven't seen a lot of reviews for, and just gonna kind of rock it from there. Such as the Metal Moose, which is something I use every single day. I always have a Metal Moose with me. I like them a lot.
I recently just picked mine up.
These mods are set up, everything about them just kind of works well. From the way the threads fit together, the voltage drop on them. I really like the pin. I like everything about it. Mine's pretty dirty right now, but it still works well. We somehow ended up with about the same mod. I don't really know how that worked out, but it is what it is.
Yeah, he's got a Mutation XV4 on top of his. I've got a Royal Hunter. I picked mine up from our buddy Jock, who is on Team Metal Moose.
Shout out to Jock. Jock's a good guy sometimes.
Sometimes. And he polished it up for me and everything, and I mean, his is dirty, but it still looks good, and if you just take a little bit of metal polish to them, like, fucking damn.
Yeah, they look good.
Okay, so we got a little bit of background on Team Metal Moose, or not Team Metal Moose, Metal Moose Mechanical Mods. Metal Moose USA is a molding company on a journey building a brand new environmental style, quality craftsmanship, made in the United States. That's a big plus to me. Our product showcases, America, showcases exponential value and accessibility to an entire vaping community. We at Metal Moose USA have expanded the boundaries of materials and production of our products by macromolecular processes that combines two or more materials from titanium, bronze, copper, stainless steel, and silver aluminum, while producing a wood grain similar to... I'm retarded.
Where are you at?
Right there.
No idea.
Words. And they say that not one of them is going to be exactly the same. That's cool to me, because that means when you buy yours, there may be one out there that's similar to it, but it's never going to be exactly the same.
All the grain patterns are what's different. We'll show you here in a second in the close-ups what they're talking about this.
And they ended out with electrify your cloud. I think it's kind of gimmicky, but I think it's fun. And take a journey. You can pick one of these up at
Vapor DNA.
They're selling theirs for...
Normally I believe $185, but right now it looks like they might have them drop down to $175.
Yep.
$175. You kind of gotta bust out the vape budget hands for a shiny metal tube, but I think they're worth it for the people who like mech mods. I mean, if you're a mech mod user, you just like the simplicity of a nice shiny metal tube. I think they're worth it. I really enjoy mine. I'm a big mech mod fan, and I like the mod a lot.
I'm a big mech fan too. I got into regulated boxes, and I've got a series Hexome. I love them both, but at the end of the day, when I go at home, I grab a mechanical tube. It's put a battery in, push, and fire. It's simple. There's no hassle. And also, to come back to Vapor DNA, the only ones they are selling is the black and silver Metal Moose. You can also buy these straight from Metal Moose, and they have all the color combos and everything.
Yeah, you can pretty much build your own there on the website.
Yeah.
Pick your own contacts, firing button, top cap, bottom cap, wood grain design, wood color, or not wood, but metal grain design. It almost looks like wood. I mean, here you can kind of see it a little bit in the close-ups there. They almost kind of look like a wood grain, but they're not really. It is a fused type of metal. It reminded me a lot of the look of like Damascus, but I mean it's obviously different. I don't know. engineer or nothing, so I don't quite know how they do it, but I mean, it is something kind of special.
Yeah, and for you to just think about it, when you hold this tube in your hand, yeah, you're going to be spending around $170, $180, but when you hold it in your hand, it's not like it's a light mod. I mean, it's all copper on the inside. It's a hefty little buddy.
It does have some good weight to it, especially when you put a battery and an Addy on there. I have another Metal Moose that I was rocking a small Samurai Bonsai on, and it was substantially lighter, but I mean, just the way everything fits together with the mod, I believe the mod is 23
millimeters, and then it tapers up to 22.
So everything looks and sits good on there. Looks flush, sits flush. Yeah, there's it with the Royal Hunter on there.
And I mean, it's got we'll show you in the close-ups, but it's got the adjustable old-fashioned 2-pin design. We'll talk about that more, but everything sits flush on it because of that.
Everything we put on it with just a little bit of adjustments to it. You get any RDA to sit flush, and you get no battery rattle. It's perfect contact every time.
Yeah, and the new ones that they got coming out are what are they? Stab wood?
The stabilized wood.
The stabilized wood, and you can pay extra to get silver contacts. Like if you're a cloud comper, silver contacts, man.
It's big. It's fun. It's definitely a good thing. I really like the new ones, and we'll probably do an update review on the new ones when we get a couple of ours in. I believe I have 2 being made right now, getting ready to be sent out to me. So we'll probably throw a quick review update out on those stabilized woods, let you know what we think of it.
All right, so I think we're going to dive up close and get up and close and personal with these Metal Mooses and show you what's going on inside.
Yes, we will.
Go.
All right, folks, so we're up close and personal with the Metal Moose Mech Mod.
So this is a 23 millimeter tube, all copper, with however they do this magical wood grain.
/ actually metal.
Yeah. If you can kind of see, I'm not sure if you can, it's got, it's kind of hard to pick it up on camera, but it's got like little shiny metal flakes in it.
Yeah, and little sparkles.
Yeah.
Little sparkles.
So that's just the tube, copper on the inside. And then here's the top portion of it. So everything sits flush on top of here. The adjustable 2-pin, which is an old style, and a lot of people sit there and gripe about it because, oh, I have to adjust 2 pins to make everything sit flush.
Floating nowadays, but I really like this style here. You screw the fat pin here all the way out. There it goes. You screw the big pin all the way out. Get your Addy to sit on there and sit flush, and then tighten that up, and then you don't have to move that again until you want to change your Addy. And most of us, for, let's face it, dripping or anyone using this mod isn't going to swap Addies out every 2 or 3 minutes, so I don't see it being that big of a pain. And then the bottom pin you just adjust for battery rattle and to fix the gap in between the top cap and the mod. It's very simple, and once you do it once or twice, you can kind of just get a good idea. And I end up throwing mine together and virtually never having to readjust it because I've gotten used to it.
Yep, and it's got a Delrin insulator right there underneath the pins, so you're totally good there. And then here's the bottom firing button. Team Metal Moose.
There is 3 total pieces, 3 big pieces, and then a little
spring and that square octagonal.
Yeah, that thing
sextagonal.
Hold it all together, I guess. I really like this bottom pin here. This bottom pin, it doesn't have, you don't have issues. You don't have to adjust nothing. When you take this apart here, everything comes apart in the base, and then when you put it back together, you snug that up, and that's why they did the 2-pin design up top, because you don't have anything to mess with down here at the bottom. Everything, just when you pull this apart, just works. There's the spring, the button, and then this comes apart here, and obviously you can unscrew your lock ring off there. Very simplistic, very kind of straightforward. I mean, yeah, it's nothing too quote-unquote innovative or nothing like that, but it just works. That's the biggest thing with mech mods. You can have a mech mod or a shiny metal tube that is innovative as shit, but if it works like shit, and who wants that? Who's gonna use that? At least, god damn it, Moose. My dog just knocked over a cup. Who wants something though that, you know, yeah, it can be cool and innovative, but when it comes game time, performs like shit. Something like this Metal Moose here, yeah, it's straightforward, yeah, it kind of has an older school design, but performance wise, I mean, you wouldn't tell. They work very, very well.
Yeah, and something to kind of back up the old school portion of it, I mean, when you think about it like an old muscle car. What do a lot of people want nowadays? They want the older muscle cars because they work well. They fucking bang hard as shit. I mean, if you have a good design, why change it? Especially if people are continuing to buy. I mean, the only thing that I've recently seen that would actually be kind of neat to negate the any button back out is on the Dogecoin that just came out.
The square post.
Yeah, the square post. I think that's genius.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a little bit of turn with that button, but it won't back out.
Exactly, yeah. I haven't had, though, speaking of button back out, I personally haven't had any issue really with it.
I had a little bit last night when I was out. Yeah. But, I mean, then I just took my finger, went like this, and it was back to normal. I mean, it's not like I had to take my entire mod apart to fix it. It was really easy. Something else that I really like about this bottom firing button, besides the awesome engraving on the button, the button throw.
Yeah,
it's maybe 2 centimeters, like just nothing to
very
it.
Very minimalistic button throw to it.
Yep.
It seems like instant contact, instant fire every time.
Yep.
It just works well.
I would assume that this is a Delrin insert right here, assumingly. But yeah, no, I mean, it's just a mech tube. There's not a lot to it, but then again, we haven't seen any solid reviews on a Metal Moose.
Not really too much, no.
You know, and
I think it's something that definitely, you know, people who are mech mod users should know about or should look into. Oh, and one last thing for this. You do have battery venting. There is battery venting. On this, there's a couple all the way around this tube here for battery venting. So you can safely vent a battery in there. Not that we hope that ever happens to anyone.
Yeah, that's bad news bears. Something else we forgot to mention, the threading. The threading feels like quality.
Yeah.
That's, I mean...
It's very short threads. There's hardly no threads on any of the caps, but the threads are small. They fit together nice and tight and snug.
You don't feel a rattle in them. Yeah. You don't, like, when you hold it tight in your hand, the button doesn't move over or anything.
And I think that's what you have to, if you get everything adjusted correctly in your top cap, I think that you can, you know, accredit how hard the mod actually hits also to the threads, because we all know where there's janky threads, there's going to be voltage drop. With something like this here, the threads are good, everything fits together nice and tight and snug, and you know, I'm not saying that there isn't voltage drop, because obviously there is, but the mod performs incredibly well.
But yeah, I mean, locking button, super simple. I have heard of people having issues with them getting kind of stuck. I can kind of see that, but...
You're going to have that with a lot of mech mods if you crank on things. I mean, it's a lock ring. You spin it until you don't crank it tight. You spin it until it's open and fire. But yeah, I have seen that. I've actually even had that myself. It's just something you got to watch yourself on. These are, you know, this is brass up here and brass and copper in the tube, and you know, mine has a copper on the bottom, and they're malleable metals. You can't beat on them.
Yeah,
you can't expect something like that to be solid when you're cranking on it.
Yeah, because back to FaceTime here, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more, and let's go.
So we just got done with a short little, not really short, but an up close and personal time with the Metal Moose mod. I guess now it's time
to discuss cons and
Yeah,
pros,
pro-
and if you know.
pros and cons.
Cons
Who
and
says
pros.
cons and pros?
I do.
Dear Jesus. Dear Jesus. What are we gonna do with you, Welder? What are we
I'm
gonna
not
do?
sure. They
He-
put me in a crazy home.
Welder Steve IR speak well.
I do. I also spell terribly.
All right. So, I guess the first pro. What do you think?
Being as I just got mine, and he's had his for what? Months.
I have 2 or 3. I have 3 of them actually now.
Yeah. We'll go off my opinion as a newbie to Metal Mooses. Me personally, my first mech mod was a clone of a Panzer. And
Nah, the Panzer Club, the flashlight.
yeah, the flashlight. And it had that adjustable 2-pin design. And that's what I learned on, so it doesn't bug me as much. Yeah, I have a clone of a Manhattan. The floating pin is nice, but the only thing that keeps that mod from having battery rattle is that magnetic button.
Oh yeah, you guys will quickly learn if you do start watching some of our reviews. We are not biased against authentics or clones by no means whatsoever.
No.
Some, let's face it, you know, as much as we want to say, the only thing I'm biased towards is American-made products. If it is American-made, I'm probably going to pick it up and try it out. As far as authentics and clones go, I've had some clones that vape better than the authentic. So, we're not biased here.
Yeah. So anyway, back to it. The adjustable 2-pin. If you hate that design, it's kind of hard to try and talk you into Metal
Yeah.
Moose, because
You're probably not gonna like
Yeah.
the 2-pin design on this. I do agree with old Steven over here. The 2-pin design I actually like. I would count it as a pro. I think they're very easy to use and I enjoy them. I've had some floating pins where, you know, if you use a very, very short atomizer or short 510 pin, that floating pin has had issues making proper connection unless you mesh the the button up really hard. I
Yeah.
mean, with this, you can adjust all of it so it's just that tiny little throw and it just fires every time. I've had no problems with it whatsoever.
yeah, like at our last CloudCon, before I had this, I was running the New Yorker, the clone of the Manhattan, and halfway through my pull on the 5 seconds, my build went cold. And I had to mash that button super hard for it to get to fire again. That's that floating pin, I think. But back to the Metal Moose, I really like the locking ring. It's super smooth, super smooth. There's almost very little turn. It's like a half turn to open and close it. The button throw, very, very minimal. All my atomizers sit flush and they look good on it, but obviously the Royal Hunter and Metal Moose are bitches because they look really nice.
Yeah, I'm Frankenstein it over here. But, I really dig this the Green Mutation X here with how I like to build. I typically do build a little lower. We don't obviously recommend building low or cloud chasing. I'm not going to push it. I do like to build low and, you know, quote unquote chase the clouds, but I do really like how this Mutation X has been performing, and I know there's videos out on it, but we might do one eventually here on my lime green Science of Vaping version because I do enjoy it. But with the way the mod hits and everything about it, I personally, I know, you know, everyone has their vape budget. I think it's, if you're a mech mod user, I think it's a must-have. I really do enjoy it. My only con I've found for the mod has been the spring inside. I have had issues with it is a weaker spring, but you know, we got to give a big shout out to Metal Moose. I've had issues with my springs. I've contacted someone most of the time via Facebook. We message back and forth, and they've got me new springs. They've also been really good with some other people about, hey, you're having a button issue or a locking issue or something, and they've taken care of it. They have really good customer service. They've been taking care of everyone really, really well. So that's another big plus for me for the mod. Aside from the con on the spring and probably the price for some people, I mean, it's beautiful mod. The look of it, I get so many compliments on it all the time, just from the sheer uniqueness of the whole thing. Even though mine is dirty right now, I still have people who look at it and just say, damn, that looks pretty good. And they're right, it does. It's a very, very pretty mod.
Yeah. You can get other colors besides just the black and the brass. Don't you have a silver and black?
I have a silver and blue one here. Silver. Oh, shit.
There goes a mod.
Fuck. Copy and twisted 420 up in here.
We'll do a review on that Addy too.
Yeah, the Vector by Vulcan. So there's a blue and silver with brass button, and then I have a silver and brass with the Kennedy comp setting on there right now. And this is actually what I use for my cloud comps. This is the one where me and him kind of throw around with this series box. I use this mod all the time, and as he stated, it's been close when we do it. These mods, this mod in particular, I don't know why. I like the look of it, and I think it vapes really well with this Kennedy on there. They pair up nicely together. So the Metal Moose does have quite a few different finishes.
And with the stab woods coming out, it's colors of the rainbow.
Oh yeah, the stabilized wood that those guys are doing there is it's beautiful. I mean, like I said, we'll throw a review up to let you know quality of the wood and how the finish turned out, whether or not over a couple weeks in use, if things shrink up, don't fit right, if there's gaps. I mean, we'll let you know all that. But
yeah, when he gets his in, it'll probably about a month before we throw one up, because
probably
wood,
we want time to use it.
Yeah,
wood's finicky sometimes.
Unless they do it correctly and they do the connections with brass and they infuse it with the wood. But we don't know what they're going to do. We won't know until we get it. But overall, if you're willing to spend the $170, $180 to get one of these guys, I recommend buying straight from Metal Moose. Just because if you do have any issues, you can contact them directly. You don't have to go through some third-party BS. I mean, because that's annoying to me personally, having to bounce around to people. But like he said, I mean, he's had issues and he's contacted them and they've got back to him pretty quick.
Very quickly, great customer service.
That comes
all in all.
That comes with spending the money.
All in all, I mean, you're getting a quality mod here, so I think it's definitely worth it for me. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I've only had mine for about 3 days and I'm already on board.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the mod that I very rarely take out of the house just because I don't want to risk lapping it or, it falling out of my pocket or something. Don't want any key scratches in
clumsy.
it.
We're all clumsy.
Yeah.
We're Americans. We're clumsy.
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah. Two yays for the Metal Moose over here. I mean, we're on board with it. I think they work well, so...
Yeah, they're simplistic, they're beautiful. Honestly, in my opinion, they're works of art. Because that's what they are. On Metal Moose's website, they say straight from it that no two are going to be the same. I mean, he's got a black and brass one, I've got a black and brass one, with wood structures and grains, and they're all different. They're all different. And I don't know if that's just how they decide to just throw the tube in whatever they do, or I don't know. It's magic. They're wizards. That's what it is.
Wizards. Ran by wizards, slave trade by leprechauns and trolls.
All right, so I think that wraps it up.
2 yays for the Metal Moose. We're on board. Let's do it here.
All right.
Vape Brigade signing out.